Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I am so thankful you have stayed up on y'all's Friday night to tune into this broadcast, one of my favorite broadcasts, because not only are we talking about weather and football, we also get those game of the week highlights as well. It has been a beautiful day here in North Mississippi. We're starting to cool off just a little bit from how this work week has been, and that's going to be the story as we continue into the weekend. But let's look at our headlines. We can see those Game of the Week highlights. That will be coming up in just a few minutes with Gabe Maynor giving us those highlights. I know he was able to stay throughout the entire game and had a great time with everything going on there. Great atmosphere. But we have a dry weekend ahead as far as our weather-related stuff for this broadcast. Very dry. It's that dry season here in North Mississippi. We're continuing to experience those effects. But thankfully, those rain chances will start to pick up later on into the work week. We just got to get through the weekend first, but hey, we're not rushing. It'll be beautiful outside. We're going to spend all our time outside with how nice it's going to feel, and we don't have any of those work week responsibilities as we get going into the weekend. But let's check that out here with the first 12. We're starting off around 64 degrees, seeing those mid-60s by the time we're wrapping up this broadcast, getting ready for bed or starting with any late night evening plans. They'll be good to go. At 2 a.m. you can see low 60s, but the great part about this graphic is seeing upper 50s back in the forecast for our lows. So it'll be a cooler start to our Saturday morning. I don't think I can say a chillier start to our day. We still got a ways to go before we get to those temperatures, but definitely cooler than what those temperatures have been lately. And then we'll start warming back up into the 60s by 8 and then mid 70s by the time we get closer to lunchtime. So it will be beautiful outside. But before we get more into the weather, I know our meteorologist Gabe Maynor is very excited to show you our highlights. He's been out at the game all night tonight. Let's see what he's got.
Well, Caleb, I know you said you can't say chilly weather, but guys, I'm in a long sleeve sweatshirt because I'm chilly. Not going to lie. I walked outside, got a little bit of goosebumps. Luckily, prepared this week and got the long sleeves. So I listened to the meteorologist, and you should have too, because we've been preaching that all week long, and we'll continue to see those cool conditions tonight into tomorrow morning before those warmer temperatures arise back in that extended forecast. Again, Caleb will have the latest on that. But you know where it wasn't cool, or at least chilly, was on the football field. Action heating up. Let's go ahead and get into those highlights. As you can see right here, senior night in Ecru for the North Pontotoc Vikings, class of 2026, taking the field for the last time, and everyone receiving a gift to commemorate the big day. But there's one gift the Vikings really want, and that is a win to keep the undefeated season going. The only thing standing in their way is the New Albany Bulldogs. New Albany looking to repeat what happened last year, and North Pontotoc trying not to let history repeat itself right here coming out of the tunnel. Of course, no senior night is complete without fireworks, but now let's get to the fireworks on the field. Drew Winfin for North Pontotoc takes the snap and finds his number one target on the outside, Aiden Harden, who takes it up the right side right here for a Vikings first down. Big play right there. Vikings, of course, trying to keep that momentum. The senior Winfin takes a snap and bounces off defenders left and right for the big first down. Another one, senior making plays on his senior night. Drive would stall out. North Pontotoc faces a big fourth down. Drew Winfin trying to convert, looks downfield, but no one's open. He is taken down by New Albany's Tylen Connor. Bulldog defense coming up huge with that sack right there. Braden Shettles trying to get the Bulldogs moving, gives it to Kylan Knox, who goes up the middle and bounces outside. Finally brought down after 25 yards. Of course, another big play for the elusive back, keeping those Bulldogs rolling. But wait, holding on the play brings it right back. Don't worry, Knox has your back. He converts that big first down, gets ahead for 6 right there. Later in the drive, big third down, another one for New Albany. Quarterback Shettles takes a snap, looks downfield. Nobody open. Defense crashes in on him, but he somehow gets away from 3 Vikings. Jukes right. See ya 1, or see ya 8. Whoop. See a 1. Luke Hale grabbing at his ankles, can't get him. He is finally brought down after a 15-yard gain, looking like Lamar Jackson out there. Later in the drive, 4th down, New Albany. They turn to their playmaker, Kylan Knox, who gets those yards after contact and barely comes up with the first down. I mean, you make the call. Did he make it? Close call right there. New Albany saying he did. North Pontotoc saying just a little short. New Albany cheerleaders sure think so, and they are ready to keep that drive rolling with another Bulldog first down. Bulldogs trying to stay hot. Braden Shettles connects with Xavier Coleman on a dig, and the junior fights for 10 yards and another New Albany first down. And on 1st and goal, New Albany turns to their senior leader, Shettles, who keeps it on the option play, takes it left, and nobody's there. Touchdown, New Albany, fooling this rock-solid defense to go on top in the first quarter. Shettles giving credit to the O-line, holding those blocks so he can get the score. Crowd absolutely loving it, wearing those neon colors, and the Bulldogs trying to keep their knee on the Vikings' throat. They opt to go for two. Stacked box on the right side and a single blocker. Parker Skinner takes a snap, goes right, says, "Get off me, number one. I got a date with the end zone." 2-point try is good. Talk your smack, young man. 8-0 Bulldogs as the game nears the end of the first. 3 and out for the Vikings. Bulldogs Shettles takes a snap and finds Cam Ray, who goes up the middle for another first down for the Bulldogs. I mean, this offense was rolling, clicking on all cylinders, needing another big play. Who else do the Bulldogs turn to? Then Knox. He goes up the middle, and that is the last you'll see of him. In a blink, the junior finds his way untouched to the end zone. Team coming down to celebrate another big run from Colin Knox. But wait, another big play from Knox is coming back because of holding. Knox is absolutely sick. Instead, the Bulldogs would go for 3. Grayson Alexander kicks a moon ball for the 30-yard try, and it is good. Bulldogs strike again. New Albany scoring nearly as much in one half as the Vikings have allowed all season. 11-0. New Albany in the second. Vikings need a response. They turn to Winfin, who throws a screen to his receiver, Harden. The playmaker works his way up the left sideline, dragging a defender behind him. First down, Vikings. Finally, this offense is rolling. Cheerleaders excited to finally have something to cheer about on this senior night. Vikings choose to run the rare triple option play, and they toss it out to Eli Sheffield, who gets away from multiple defenders for a 16-yard gain. Shout out the senior, making plays on his senior night. Another first down for North Pontotoc. Finally, that offense is cooking. Drew Winfin with the hot hand keeps it going and throws to Kylan Jones, who gets away from the defender and is tackled on the 3-yard line. Vikings, of course, continue to move, only a little bit more to go. But check out this play. Winfin takes a snap and goes on a designed quarterback run. He goes up the middle and is tackled just short of the goal line, but the ball comes out. Sitting on the end zone, Tyler Evans for New Albany picks it up and gets all the way down to the 50. But that's not the play we're watching. Coaches upset, saying that Winfin was down before the fumble, claiming that the ground caused the fumble. And, of course, by rule, that would be down and, of course, second down for the Vikings. But Sheffield adamantly pleading to the ref that man was down. Even Pops in the crowd not exactly happy with that call, letting him know that he was down. Drew Winfin still telling his teammates that there's no way he wasn't down several plays later, just frustrated after a great drive stalls out. Fortunately, the defense would hold strong and stop the Bulldogs before halftime. 11-0 would be the score as both teams try to get back on track for the second half. But that remains the thing. What was the call? Was it a fumble or was it not a fumble? You take a look at that play and let us know down in the comments below. But personally, I feel like he might have been down, but ultimately didn't make the difference. The Vikings do come out on top. A big second half comeback to keep that undefeated streak alive. 26-22, defeating the Bulldogs as we got into the fourth quarter. And folks tell me that within the 5 seconds, that's what the game came down to. So the Vikings fought hard, keeping that home field advantage, keeping the home win streak alive, keeping the overall win streak alive right now at 5, and making the Bulldogs fall to 4-2. So I know the Vikings are excited. Senior night, boys leaving it all on this field, and I can still see just the patches, the memories that were made here, and I know they're excited about that as well. And despite giving up more points on offense tonight than they have all season, the Vikings did somehow come out on top, but they did hold the New Albany Bulldogs to their lowest point total of the season, only at 22. Before, I believe it was around 38. So to give you a perspective of how strong this Vikings defense is, I mean, you might as well call them the Minnesota Vikings because they were holding down the fort. But it was a great time out here. Got to meet a lot of people and got to see some fantastic musical performances. Got to see some pep squads, or spirit squads, should I say. And so we're going to take a look at those here in just a moment. But Caleb, right now what we're dealing with as folks clean up is some cooler conditions temperature-wise. We are going to be dipping down a little bit more overnight. So folks need to have those long sleeves ready. Yes, I'm prepared this week. They need to do the same, especially for any of those late night games or early morning activities. But Caleb, this pretty much wraps it up in Ecru. Fantastic crowd once again, and excited to get into the rest of those highlights that you have here on the 10 o'clock broadcast. Live in Ecru in North Pontotoc, meteorologist Gabe Maynor from your Game of the Week.
Well, a big thanks to our meteorologist Gabe Maynor for giving us that. It looked like it was a crazy game, and especially I love football games with great defenses. It just makes it more intense and more of a more meaningful outcome with which defense is better. So big thanks to you for giving us that highlight. Taking a look back at the weather, I debated on even putting this in the show and just leaving it out and just going straight to Futurecast just because there is nothing to look at on our Mississippi Live weather radar. It is dry, bone dry here in Mississippi. That has been the trend and will continue to be as we continue into the weekend. But wanted to put it there, that way y'all know I'm including it just in case anything was going on, but we are still dry into the evening ahead. So now let's actually look at something more important, or not more important, just more meaningful, and that's that Futurecast showing us if it'll go. There we go. You can see some of that cloud cover pretty much away from Mississippi as a whole, more in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, anywhere but Mississippi and out west. We are staying dry. That easterly wind, pretty much the only thing we can look at here that's active in North Mississippi, and that's going to continue to be the trend. That cloud cover will try to build in just a little bit because of that easterly wind crossing over the Alabama state line into Mississippi, but we are still seeing pretty much mostly clear conditions as we get started with our Saturday morning. It will still be beautiful, and it will be sunny, and it will be a great weekend outdoors, just not a rainy, soggy weekend. We haven't really had one of those in a while. Most of those rain chances are still staying south of us, even south of Mississippi completely, pretty much just along the Gulf Coast and into Louisiana. We are still staying dry here in our viewing area. But let's take a look at the next 24, showing these dry conditions and sunny conditions all day long. Starting off with those upper 50s, a cool, chillier start to the day if we want to go that far. Warming back up towards the 80s by lunchtime, and then by the time we reach those afternoon hours, we're still sticking around the mid 80s, not really pushing those upper 80s. And later on in the broadcast, I'll show you those that read an 88. You're going to feel like you're in the 85s just because of those heat and seas cooling us off just a little bit. So it'll going to feel amazing outside as we continue into our Saturday. And then by the time we reach 9 o'clock, you can see 69 degrees cooling on off as we get closer and closer towards the 10 o'clock broadcast. But of course, we have to give you the Spirit Squad of the week, your band of the week, everything you need to know for your Saturday, Sunday, into a potentially soggy start to the work week. All of that's coming up in 1 minute.
At Bulldog Burger, we take the burger game to the next level, like the Freshman 15, stacked with panko fried mozzarella. Unleash your appetite.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, there you have it. There was your Spirit Squad of the week, New Albany High School. I know it seems like we keep having that same trend that the Spirit Squad or Band of the week tends to not be the winner of the game of the week. So keeping that trend going, but I know they were very excited to be the Spirit Squad of the week. They looked like they did a great job out there and had a lot of fun. But looking back on the weather, you can see 66 degrees right now, feels like 66 as well. So it is feeling amazing outside. For any outdoor plans you have going on this late at night, they are good to go. Not much wind, but you can tell we definitely don't need that as we continue into our evening. But coming back to football with our SEC football forecast, Alabama hosting Vanderbilt should be a good game, especially with how these matchups have been lately. Afternoon game starting off a little bit toasty, around 83 degrees, but cooling on off later on, not until halftime, still mid-80s by then, but then maybe seeing some low 80s start to creep in by the time you're walking out of that stadium. But now, I know the New Albany Bulldogs didn't win tonight. Hopefully the Mississippi State Bulldogs can get their win over in College Station, Texas. It should be a good game. It's an evening game. It's going to be a rowdy crowd there facing Texas A&M, so we'll see how it goes. Starting off around 88 degrees, a little bit toastier out there in Texas, cooling on off towards the low 80s by halftime and then seeing upper 70s by the final snap. So it should be beautiful out there, and hopefully the Bulldogs can walk out of there with the win. But coming back to Futurecast, we can see dry, clear conditions here in North Mississippi, and that will continue to be the trend overnight and into our Saturday as well. That cloud cover pretty much just staying out there in Alabama, trying to push into North Mississippi, pretty much staying east of Highway 45. While we're going to continue to see pretty much cloudless, dry skies here in North Mississippi, allowing for anyone who gets up early on their Saturday morning, they are going to experience cool and clear conditions for your Saturday. And I mentioned cool because our low temperatures, upper 50s across most of our viewing area. I'm trying to see if I can spot it real quick. I think 56 is 55 in Red Bay. Red Bay, y'all just do a great job being the lowest value on these graphics. I need to take a visit to Red Bay when I have free time. Y'all seem to be feeling the best out there. But yeah, it will be a cool start across all of North Mississippi. It's just later on in the day, that hoodie, sweatpants you might be starting off in, definitely not going to want to have them by the time the afternoon rolls around. Let's check that out on Futurecast, showing those clear conditions still. Some minimal cloud cover. These are going to be very thin, wispy clouds, not really providing much shade from the sun, but thankfully not really needing that shade as we continue into our Saturday. Around 11 or 12 o'clock, still pretty cloudless. Some models were projecting more clouds cover across the Delta. That seems to have shifted a little bit over the Mississippi River. We are still seeing dry conditions. I noticed I was just covering up the precipitation out there in Alabama, trying to get close and as close as it can get to our viewing area, but we are still staying dry even into our Saturday evening as well. That is just going to be the trend. High temperatures pretty much mid 80s across most of our viewing area. I'm covering up the highest ones right here. I keep bouncing back and forth. 88, Greenwood, Belzona, and Greenville. This is what I mentioned just earlier before our break. Those heat indices taking you back down towards 85, 86 degrees. So it will feel nicer than what those actual temperatures are reading. So even though you're coming in at the highest, you're right there with us around the mid to low 80s as well. So it will feel amazing across North Mississippi. And of course, I have to put in the fishing forecast. We have the park planner during the 5 and the 6 for those fishermen out there that enjoy these calm, clear conditions. There you go. Whether you want to start 6, 8, or 10, you are seeing clear skies. Whether you need to start with cooler conditions or once it starts warming up, however it works, there you go for the morning shift. And of course, got to put an afternoon one as well. 81 degrees by the time you reach that 6 o'clock broadcast time, and then we will cool off towards the low 70s by 8, and then upper 60s by that 10 o'clock broadcast as well. Let's come back to Futurecast to track those conditions out. Still very clear here in North Mississippi. The most amount of moisture we can get will be in cloud cover, but still very, very sparse as we continue into the weekend. Now this model still showing some cloud cover across the, I guess you'd say, southern portion of our viewing area, pretty much south of Highway 6, but also I'd say east of Interstate 55. That's where you can start seeing those clouds. They start dispersing, fading on out by the time we get towards Sunday morning. Maybe a little bit cloudier of a start for your Sunday morning for a church commute, but still going to be a beautiful one at that. Lows a little bit higher, but this is where the models start putting rainfall into the projections. These are a little bit more aggressive than what they were during the 5 and 6 broadcasts. I feel like that's saying that they're getting a little bit more confident. I'm continuing to get less confident with these rain chances. I think we're going to stay dry Sunday, but that's why I need to tune into the 6 and 10 broadcast tomorrow. I'm very excited to see what these models start shaping up to once we get within 24 hours of these rain chances. I know if any of us were to receive it, we would definitely welcome it with open arms, but right now, still thinking we're going to be dry. Still showing some rain showers pushing into the evening hours, and even another batch trying to make its way through in the early morning hours of Monday. I do think Monday we start seeing rain changes, but just not until later on in the day. So we'll see how this model changes once we get closer and closer towards Saturday and those 6 and 10 broadcasts. As of right now, I still think it's going to be a dry weekend all the way around. Just trying to set expectations. It'll still be beautiful though. High temperatures, a little bit warmer than what they were for Saturday, but a little bit better than what they were for the work week. We're still around the mid 80s. I know most of the work week we were pretty much in the upper 80s, so a slight increase. We're taking baby steps to finally get towards that fall weather, even though we're officially in the season. Doesn't quite feel that way. Heat and seas trying their hardest to keep us there, not really pushing us up into the upper 90s, or not upper 90s, definitely not upper 90s, the low 90s. we are definitely trying to get rid of that summertime mugginess, and that is not following us into fall, thankfully. But taking a look at the 7-day forecast, your high 84 for your Saturday, warming up slightly to 86 for your Sunday. Then there we go. I'm keeping those rain chances off just because I really think we're going to stay dry. But definitely tune in tomorrow because I'd love to start putting some for Sunday. I'm rooting for rain chances just as hard as you guys, I promise. That's why Monday I put it up to 30%, and then you have a 20%. Excuse me, it's been a long work week. I'm so sorry. It's late. It's 10:20. We're ready to go home. But 20% for your Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we are seeing a drier forecast for your Thursday and Friday, high of around 82 degrees. I think that is some perfect weather to try to just get through the work week. It will feel amazing outside. But before you go, I have to give y'all's band squad of the week, and they did a great job. I already listened to them. Take a look. Well, there you have it. There was your band squad of the week. It is funny how it always works out. Whether your team got the win in the football game, well, if you didn't, you got the band and cheer squad of the week. I love how those votes always work out for the best. Of course, here are the QR codes for our app. We appreciate all the support you've given us. We cannot do this without y'all, and I just love spending my weekends here with y'all, giving y'all the latest updates on everything going on, even when there's not much going on. We can enjoy these beautiful weekends together here in North Mississippi. That means our live shows for this weekend are going towards the weekend schedule. Ignore the morning ones or morning shows and the 5 o'clock show. It will just be 6 and 10 with me in here tomorrow, giving you everything you need to know for your Saturday, Sunday, and into the start of the work week, where I hope we can see some soggy conditions finally make their way back into the forecast. But y'all go out, enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, and I hope y'all have a great start to y'all Saturday, and I'll see y'all back here live tomorrow night at 6 and 10.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.